So, can you find a semi-automatic shotgun in Dying Light right at the start of the story? I'm talking even before completing the first assignment. Well, based on a little experiment I tried on a previous video in this series, I figured that it should be possible, so I decided to give it a go. Okay, so unlike the other weapons I've shown in this series, the semi-automatic shotgun cannot be found in the slums straight out of the tower, and for this to work, I had to get my shot of antizin from Dr. Zira first. After that, I had to go and speak to Spike to receive the first assignment and grab some firecrackers, as this time I was going to have to complete the prologue in order to be able to use this trick. The first assignment is basically setting traps, and it takes around 15 minutes to locate them all and lure the zombies away with the firecrackers, etc. But when you've done all that and switched on the power, you've got to make it back to the safe zone before dark. It's not that difficult at this stage in the game. The zombies are really slow, not much of a challenge, and once you get back to the safe zone, it's then possible to sleep until morning. After doing so, you get this info card to say that you've now completed the prologue, and you can choose your online options. Then you get these pop-ups confirming that all DLC content is now available, and that includes the following DLC. So, this is where the trick comes in, and all you've got to do now is quit to the main menu and select play, and then the following. A warning pops up to say that the following is intended for seasoned players, and it advises that you have a character of at least level 12 survivor rank. And I must stress that if you are new to Dying Light, then it is much better to play the game as it was intended. However, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to go in at a level of just 2 with almost no skills unlocked and only armed with the basic starting weapons, so it would definitely be a bit of a challenge. Just like the main campaign, it's possible to skip through the cutscenes at the beginning of the following. It saves time, and again, if you're new to the game, then you're going to want to watch those to understand the story, but I'd seen it all before and just wanted to get cracking. The first thing you've got to do is make your way out of the sewer and into the countryside. You've got to climb across to that column of rock, and once you're there, you can actually see Jazir's farm from up here. Using your survivor sense shows that it's only 279 metres away, but the only way to get down there from up here is to basically dive into the water below. Once you've climbed out onto dry land and followed the path towards the farm, you'll see a hunting tower by it, and it is worth climbing up there to unlock the loot crate. It's a hard lock, but if after 3 turns you still haven't cracked it, then simply back out again and re-attempt it. If you tried 4 turns but still haven't found the sweet spot, then the pick will break, but if you back out before then, you can make one lockpick last pretty much forever. So I only got a water pipe for my troubles, which of course is still pretty weak, but it's still double the damage of the pipe I had up to that point, and as the zombies in the following are far more dangerous than the ones in the beginning of the slums, it'd give me half a chance if they all came after me. It's easy to forget that the character I'm using on this new save has very little stamina or skill, so really avoiding the zombies is the only way on the way to the farm, as you'd struggle to survive a crowd of them. Once getting to the farm and climbing over the gate, it's just a case of speaking to these few NPCs to trigger the first mission. Again, it's possible to skip all the conversations, and after speaking with Khan, you can now get the buggy. The location I'm heading to is around 2 kilometers away, so the buggy will make that trip much quicker and is really a must. However, it's not going to be that easy. Firstly, there's a load of zombies between me and the buggy, and as I've said, they're way more dangerous than the ones in the first assignment. These ones can turn into virals when you get too close to them, and they will chase you down, so I intended to steer well clear of them. And on top of that, the buggy, when you get there, is being guarded by a large group of bandits. It is possible to steal the buggy without having to take any of them on though. If I tried to fight them head on, then my weak-ass character would be dead in seconds, so stealth was really the only option here. I had done this in a previous video though, and it's just a case of climbing onto the pipes to get over the wall, and once you're inside you just got to creep around from the back of this building and then simply make a dash for the car before they know what's going on. I took a couple of hits but floored it out of there, and after crashing through the gate I was safe, as the bandits don't follow you. You can see them angrily running around on the minimap, but for some reason they're all stuck inside the compound, so it's a pretty easy getaway. So now I had the buggy, it was time to get the shotgun, and I opened the map to place a waypoint. As always at this stage, the map is shaded out until you start exploring, so it is difficult to see details on it. But the building I was after is this one right down near the dam. Once you've dropped a waypoint, pressing Survivor Sense every time you need to get your bearings is, one way of getting there, but a good tip is to follow the railway track southwards. The ride's a bit bumpier than on the road, but as long as you're careful, the buggy should survive despite being bog standard, and there's plenty of fuel in the tank to get all the way there too. After a few minutes, you come to this point where the overpass crosses the rail line. The tunnel's collapsed here, so you've just got to take a detour around to rejoin the tracks on the other side. And after that, it's not long before the line is blocked again, but there's a makeshift ramp here, and driving over it puts you right on the road to the dam. There's still a little way to go from that point, but finally you cross the bridge to the destination, and my fuel gauge was flashing on empty, so I only just made it. That was the least of my worries though, because all this noise had now attracted the attention of the virals. Before I could do anything else, I was going to have to take care of these guys, and I was in real danger really, because as soon as I stepped out of the buggy, they were on me, and guess what? I'd forgotten to equip the stronger pipe from the hunting tower. They were doing real damage to me, and I was doing hardly any to them. And even after equipping it and having some revenge, I still had to run to recover as I didn't have any medkits either. That was another oversight. Finally, I took care of the last one, and I was now able to enter the compound safely. You can get in there through the hole in the wall and then head towards the building on the right behind that truck. The door's got a hard lock on it, but again you can make that one lockpick last by using the trick I showed you earlier. The first thing I did though when I got in there was grab some gauze to make a medkit. I just didn't want to get jumped again because I really didn't want to die after doing all of this. That would have been well annoying. Right, all you need to do now is turn left and head towards the end of the garage. As soon as you get around the side of this truck, you'll see this really weird looking vehicle, and it's actually an Easter egg that's kind of a nod towards the Mad Max movies. But if you look a bit closer, you'll see the real prize come into view, which is the semi-automatic shotgun with 670 damage, which at the start of the game is a hell of a lot. Of course, shotguns become much more powerful later in the game, but believe me, this will do really high damage to the zombies back at the start of the main campaign. And that's not everything though. If you look around the back of the vehicle, there's a ladder down into the maintenance pit. Climbing down into it and looking up reveals a secret button, and after pushing it and climbing back out, you can see that it's popped the trunk of the car. And that reveals an American 9mm pistol and a box of ammo. Plus, when you get a bit closer, there's 2 more boxes of shotgun shells, so amazingly you don't just get a great shotgun, but you get a whole load of shells and a bonus pistol too. Okay, so you might be thinking that all I've really done here is find a well-known Easter egg at the start of the following DLC. But if I just quit to the main menu now, select play and then the main campaign save, you'll see what's actually happened here. I respawned back into the safe zone where I left off, and you can see there that the first assignment is still the active quest. All I need to do now is jump over the wall and back into the street to reveal that the semi-automatic shotgun is still in my loadout as it was when we just quit the following, proving that anything you find in the following DLC will stay in your inventory and can therefore be carried across back into the main campaign. Of course, this thing's going to make things a little bit unfair on these poor, dopey early zombies, because it's going to make mincemeat of them. It's so OP at the moment that if you've got 3 or 4 of them standing in a line, it'll take them all out in one hit and pretty much just liquefy their heads if it's point blank range. So yeah, you don't really need to use this on these zombies. It's a bit of a waste. The pistol has also carried over. Both of these are going to make a lot of noise, and as we finish the prologue now, the virals will start running when they hear you. The pistol though is going to make pretty short work of a viral too though, so you haven't got to worry about that. So there you have it. You really can find a semi-automatic shotgun in Dying Light before finishing the first assignment, but you are going to need the following DLC to do it. Now the ammo we found earlier won't last forever, and the stores don't sell it until later in the game, so it could be argued there's not much point in having these weapons unless you save them for special enemies like humans or goons maybe. Honestly though, if you're new to Dying Light, I strongly recommend that you play the game as it was intended. I've just been mucking about doing this exploring series because I've played hundreds of hours of it already in the last 18 months. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you can think of that might be possible to do at the start of the story. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.